Bienvenido and welcome to Dance with the Universe, your space of inspiration, healing and growth. I am Laura Blu Sandía and I'm really happy that you're here. Today I want to tell you a little bit about the country I call my home now, Colombia. I've been living here now for almost 1 year, and during that time I learned a lot from the country and the people here. And I want to share with you my little Colombian secrets. I hope you enjoy it. Let's dance! Colombia. What are the first things that come to your mind when you think about Colombia? To be fair, most people that I tell that I live here now, they say, wow, you can get a lot of marijuana and a lot of cocaine for really cheap. And that's really dangerous in Colombia, no? You need to be really careful, wow. Or, there's really good coffee in Colombia, that's delicious. So actually coffee, crime, and drugs, or cocaine especially, are the three things that most people really think about Colombia. But no. That is just what 99% of the people think Colombia is. But most of them actually haven't been here. You have to really visit and go to a country to know what is the country. It's such a shame, I feel. I want to tell you a little bit about this beautiful country and what it really is. What Colombia really represents, and it's so much more than just crime and cocaine. You can learn a hell of a lot from Colombian people, believe me. And I want to share with you 5 major things that I learned in this 1 year of living here from Colombian people. So number 1 is relax yourself. I mean, I've visited a lot of different countries and I adapted to many different cultures. But in Colombia, it's the first time I actually realized that I still have a lot of German inside of me. I always kind of rejected that because I was like, no, I'm a world citizen and I'm totally open and I can, adapt to anything. And no, I do have a lot of German values and thinking patterns inside of me. I just want to tell you one example. So last month, I went to Sogamoso, which is a city near Bogota, to visit the famous Temple of the Sun. So this museum apparently opens at 9 a.m. German as I am, I was there 9:05, so 5 minutes past opening times. And I was being welcomed by the security guy, who was just finishing to put on his tie. He told me the guy from the register is going to arrive in about 20 minutes. So I was like, oh, okay. Can I at least go inside and sit down in the cafeteria? Yeah. So I went and sat down in the cafe where the lady from the cafeteria was just starting to clean the floor, which is 15 minutes after the official opening time. In the end, I waited another 40 minutes because 20 minutes in Colombia is not 20 minutes. After 40 minutes, I finally was able to go inside. In that moment, I was already way more relaxed than before. Because when this first started happening to me, and that happens a lot, I almost got crazy. Because it was like with this friend, I don't know, let's meet at 9 a.m. Okay, nice. And obviously, I'm going to be there just before 9 or at 9. But after the 10th time that I waited more than half an hour for the other person to arrive, I kind of gave up. When Colombians say, we're going to meet at 9, basically you start to get ready at 9. Then you leave at 9:30 and you arrive around 10. So that's Colombian timing for you. What does that really teach me? To chill the out. Because we Westerners are really stressed. Way too stressed all the time. And we carry a lot of pressure. Especially with the timings in our schedules and calendars. We live with a lot of rules and expectations, to be fair. In Colombia, the people just choose to take the things a little bit more easy and to not carry around that much weight. And I'm not saying that it's not good to have a timetable or to, plan it a little bit. But with some things, because life just doesn't go as you plan it most of the time, And when that happens, we are used to stress out and, oh my God, no, and I need to be there at that time, and when I'm not, I'm going to stress and I really feel bad. But Colombians are just, wow, okay, happens. It's not a big problem. Let's chill, let's drink a coffee, let's wait, or it's so beautiful in a way. Like, I am so much more relaxed right now, and I can take the things that life throws at me with much more ease. Number 2 of what Colombians really taught me is share what you have. So Colombian people are the most generous people I got to know. They don't really think twice. They give as much as they can. They give all they have. I stayed with a really poor family about 2 months ago, with a family that really didn't have a lot. I mean, they had a little house and some corn to eat and some rice, and they live in the countryside and they're really happy. But they share with you everything they have. They actually even felt shame because they couldn't give us more. I mean, they gave us like rice and corn to eat, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry that we don't have more to offer to you, you know. And they don't ask for any money, you know, they just give it out of their heart because they receive you as a guest. And it's a crazy thinking that doesn't really occur to us in the Western world. Also, last time I stayed at a hostel in Boyacá, which is another region of Colombia. I wanted to stay one more night, but I didn't book, so it was totally booked out. So I talked to the owner and said, there's no other hostel in the city, what I'm going to do. And he just said, no problem. You can stay with my parents. What? So the parents basically lived next to the hostel. He just gave me a private room in their house. They gave me all the trust and cared for me. They even gave me free coffee in the morning. That was incredible. It was like, wow, they just really care for the people. When I come to a place here in Colombia to visit someone, they always offer a lot of things, food, drink, anything. They really care for the other person, and they are brought up like this. And I feel like in the Western world, we are brought up thinking more individualistic. So we think about us, maybe our closest friends or partner or family, but even in families, actually, that doesn't exist so much. I experienced something similar in Asia, where the thinking of family and community is still very different than to Europe, for example, where we all just think about me, 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 me. Yeah, here in Colombia, it's us, 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 us. That's something we can all learn from a lot, because we only grow together. We can only be our true self, and we can only really discover to be human when we share. The third thing I learned from Colombians is to wake up the fire inside of you. So Colombians are obviously Latin Americans, and they have a lot of fire inside of them. They dance, they cook, they fight, they love, all with a fiery passion. Surely, the cold approach of the Western world can achieve a lot of things: degrees, good job, advanced technology, really controlled governments. But where's the life in all of that? Because that fire means life. If you just think and act with your head and don't put some heart into it, you're just doing the things halfway. So I feel like this fire is heart. I'm not saying that we Westerners don't have any heart. No. We all have that. But we're just not taught to express that and to explore that. I mean, surely that fire can also be a little bit much, because I experienced a lot of situations here where Colombians just fight on the streets and scream at each other, or partners, they fight really loudly and really with a lot of passion. But they do all with passion. So they cook for their families with passion. They clean, they dress themselves with passion. They go out and share with passion. They laugh really loudly. They dance super expressionately with a lot of expression. Jesus, my English. And it's just really beautiful, because I feel the people here more alive. No, they don't repress anything. And I feel that in the Western world that happens a lot. You know, we have so many rules and so many things we follow. Such code thinking. Also in the relationships, no? I mean, we can talk honestly here about sex, for example. It's not for nothing that they say that Latinos have a lot more, fire in bed, because they're just not afraid to express all that's inside of them. And that's how they are brought up. We all have that, don't get me wrong. You have that fire inside of you. I have it. I mean, I rediscovered it here again. And we all should stir that fire again and put a little bit more heart in how we are doing the things. Number 4 of what I learned in Colombia is how to reconnect with my land. Funny enough, obviously I'm not Colombian, I'm from Germany. But here I first started to understand what it means to have a root. Because here the people are really connected to nature, to their histories, to their ancestors, to their tribes. And when I first connected with the earth, when I first, for example, got in contact with sacred plant medicine, which is here really normal, so herbalism, plants like ayahuasca, San Pedro, that are now slowly also coming to Europe, all this shamanism, all these ancient cultures, they are really normal here and the people really integrated into their daily life. And when I first learned about these indigenous people, that's when I started to recognize the bond I really have with the earth. So these tribes really live in balance and they live united, they live connected to the earth. Because, I mean, in the end, we all come from the earth and we all go back to the earth. But we really forgot that with all our houses and bricks and technologies. And when I connected with this land here, I connected with my own land, with my homeland again. And I find it really funny that most of the people have to travel to the other side of the world to connect with their own land. Because I got to know a lot of people from Europe. They come to Colombia in search of that root. They don't stay in their own country, no. They come here because here the knowledge exists, the old knowledge on how to reconnect with your land. Because then you realize that your own land is not Germany, it's not Netherlands, it's not Australia's. The earth, the world, everything. It doesn't matter the continent. So I found a lot of pieces of my culture in South America. Because the people, the plants, they showed me that everything is connected, that we are all connected. And yes, South America has a painful history of colonization and exploitation, like so many other countries, rich in indigenous culture and tradition. But they still didn't lose that knowledge. They still teaching that knowledge to this generation, which I find really, really beautiful. We should all learn how to connect with our culture and tradition again. The final thing that I learned living in Colombia is to believe. So most of the people in Colombia are Catholics, like 90-something, 92%. And God really plays a big role in their lives. So I'm an atheist. For me, the beginning, all these Mother Mary statues, all these baby Jesuses, all these Jesus pictures and crosses everywhere, were a little bit strange at the beginning. But with time, I really started to appreciate and understand this belief. Why? Because the people here, they grow up with the religion. And because of that, they are incredibly generous and caring. So I want to tell you some examples. When you say goodbye in Spanish, they always say Dios lo bendiga, which means may God protect you. And actually the word for bye in Spanish is adios. So in itself it has the word God, which is Dios. And they also always wish you or everyone bendiciones, which means blessings. So they give blessings to everyone and everything. And this is super beautiful. Because they have the view that everything that happens is a blessing. Because it needs to be like that and there's no other way. And it's a beautiful teaching and a beautiful gift of the universe. And that way they can live, in total acceptance and appreciation of life. So I know the word God and religion for many people is really, oh God, no, oh God, is really difficult because they connect it, with the church and all of that. But I found you can learn something from every religion. It doesn't matter if it's Buddha, Allah, Jesus. It's about the values, they communicate with that. Yeah, I really love this compassion that the religion brings to the people here for others. Besides the Catholic religion, as I said before, the indigenous culture is very present. So there are more than 85 indigenous tribes with a lot of different beliefs and traditions. And I got to know a lot of young people that are in search to reconnect with their ancestral roots, to integrate this culture in the modern times. All these indigenous beliefs, what they have in common is they all are closely related to nature. So that is something, like I explained before, I found really necessary in especially these times of technology and of climate change and of disconnecting ourselves from the earth. They have that belief that we humans are inseparably connected to nature and are not above any of its wonders. They pray to many different gods. They don't just have one god. For example, Madre Tierra, which means Mother Earth, Padre Sol, which means Father Sun. When I'm in a plant ceremony, they always thank all these different gods of the rivers, of the trees, of the earth, of the sky, all the plants, herbs, stones, and animals. They are all gods in a way. And I feel that's a really beautiful way of relating yourself with your surroundings and your environment. Even though I'm not Catholic or indigenous, I can for sure learn a lot from these values any religion or tradition has to communicate. These 5 things were just little insights in what the Colombian culture has to offer and to teach. But there are so many more things. I learned a lot about indigenous culture during that time, and I will for sure share more about that. But this is a topic that's huge. But I wanted you to get a little understanding of how Colombians, are a little bit different of us Westerners, and how we can adapt some of these behaviors and thinkings really beautifully. For sure, the Colombian people also have a lot to learn from us, because, I guess that's why I'm also here, to give this knowledge that we have, the values that we got from our parents as kids, to communicate that to the Colombian people and to receive what they have to offer to us, so we can connect our cultures and learn from each other and grow together. I mean, that's the goal, no? I hope you learn to relax yourself a little bit more. Don't stress, accept. Share more what you have with other people. Wake up that fire that you have inside of you and do the things with heart. Reconnect with your own land and culture and tradition, and share a little bit of your values, of your compassion with the world, and realize that you are not separate from the earth you're living in. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed my little insight in the Colombian culture. If you want to stay up to date, follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Blusandia. And I would be really happy if you could leave me a nice comment or rating. I see you very soon on the next Dance with the Universe. Mucho amor from Colombia.